Hello, my fellow mechanics. This is D Omega here, posting a video that is sorely needed on the internet. I have looked everywhere on the internet, YouTube, everywhere, and cannot find a video that shows a bolt being pulled out of a deep, deep hole in an engine block. After 4 years, finally, I figured it out and did it myself. And I figured I would show this video so that maybe if you guys have this problem, you don't have to waste your block, you don't have to spend a bunch of money, you can get the bolt out, hopefully. So this bolt, it's a head bolt. It's a piece of crap bolt, Subaru WRX 2004. It snapped off when the fat mechanic that was working on my car was trying to replace my head gasket. He just put all 300 pounds of his weight on it and snapped it off in the block, didn't try to do anything to prevent it. So I took it upon myself after 4 years of trying to figure it out. Yeah, it took that long. It also took that long for me to search for a video that would help me, which is the video I'm showing you now. So I got a metal pipe. It's the exact same size as the hole that the bolt goes into. It fits right on top, exact same size. And I checked the size by getting a bit that would fit down in there. And I mean, you could check it, just make sure it's the exact same size. You can use a drill bit that fits down inside the hole. You can stick it down in there and then just slide this over it. Or you can get one of these. This is exactly the size of the hole. It'll slide right down in there. And that's for a 04 WRX. I'm not saying it's going to work for everything. But, so, you get a metal pipe that's the exact same size as the hole. Try to get one that's at least a foot long, because you might need to cut and cut and cut until you get the measurements right. So this pipe fits in the hole, or fits the same size as the hole. And make sure you use the end piece of the pipe that's flat and level, because if you use the crooked piece, it's not going to be so level, and you'll have it leaning, which means your drill bit's going to lean, and you might drill through the side of the bolt or into the block itself. And then you take that same pipe and you cut off enough pieces that each piece should be as long as from the top of the broken bolt, and it should stick out of the hole just a little so you can grab a hold of it if you need to. And the way I did it, I cut each piece down the side, and I did 3 pieces to get to the smallest bit. I used Cobalt bits from Home Depot, Milwaukee Cobalt bits from Home Depot. And I got this grease from Walmart. It's awesome. It works. That grease from Walmart. And you cut each piece of the pipe down the side until you can fit enough pieces inside of one another for your smallest bit to fit in the smallest piece. And then you stick it down in the hole, because it'll fit just like it would inside the piece of pipe that I cut. It'll fit right inside that piece of pipe. See that? And if it fits in this pipe, it fits in this hole. And if it fits in this hole, your bit will fit in, and it'll go straight down to the bolt. But I used WD-40 penetrant and PB Blaster penetrant, and I filled the hole up and left it setting. I would dry it out with paper towel and refill it to the top and let it set every single day for 2 weeks. Soak that bolt. Don't get impatient, just soak it for like 2 weeks. And then I cut the head off of another bolt, because I gotta buy new bolts anyway. I cut the head off and I stuck it down in there, and I beat hard on the top of the bolt that was stuck. I pounded it. And then I used this punch, which isn't that great, but I beat the crap out of the top of that too and punched it. And then I stuck the pipes that I cut. I stuck those down in the hole. Put lots of grease in, took them out, put lots of grease in, took them out, and just kept drilling until I cleaned it. I used a magnet. And make sure you get a magnet that'll fit down in there, because I had to use a screw and a big magnet because I didn't have a little magnet. And you go from smaller bit to a little bit bigger bit. And I didn't even use the biggest bit, because when I got to the, it's a 1/4. When I got to the 1/4, I switched over to the bit that came out of my extractor set, and it's a reverse bit, so it turns counterclockwise. And after 2 weeks of letting it soak, drilling down in that hole with that first bit, it's 3/16. I drilled down into it as far as it would go. I stuck the reverse bit in and started turning it, and the bit, just the bit, pulled the bolt out. But that's me. You don't want to get in there and jam it down in there and snap the bit off in the bolt. So if you're drilling down in it with the reverse bit after you use the cobalt and get the first nice hole in there, or the second bit to get the bigger hole, it might just pull it out. But mind you, I let it soak with those penetrants for about 2 weeks. And then I came in here, tapped it with a punch, put a little dent in it, used that small bit. And I used that bolt that I cut off that came out of the engine, and I beat the crap out of that bolt that was broke off and stuck down in there. And the reverse bit pulled it out. But, yeah, so that was stuck in there for 4 years. So what you need is a piece of pipe that is the exact same width as the hole. Make sure you get that pipe about 1 foot long so you can cut off pieces. Cut each piece down the side like so. And the smallest piece, you can fold it over, roll it up and make it as small as you need it. I don't know if you can see that, the light's behind me. But yeah, see, I rolled it over itself to make it smaller. And then it fit right inside the second piece. I made sure it would fit in that second piece, and then the second piece fit in the third piece, and the third piece fits in the big pipe. They all fit together, and then that big pipe's the same size as the hole, so everything fits in there. And then your bit will fit right inside there. The bit will go right inside that hole where you need it to drill that bolt out. See that? So that's the most important part. Make sure you get those tubes cut so that your bit will go straight down in the hole. Tube inside of tube inside of tube that'll slide right inside of the hole that the bolt is stuck in. And then get a bit that'll fit right inside those tubes. That'll go straight down. The tubes will hold it straight. Get that hole drilled. Make sure you let it soak with the penetrant for like 2 weeks. I mean, 3 weeks if you want to. I mean, just be patient. And get this Duralast set. It's got the reverse bits in it. Beat the crap out of that bolt with one of the bolts that came out of the engine. If you can get a bolt that came out of the engine, stick that sucker down in there after you let it soak, and just hammer it like 10 or 15 times real hard with a hammer. And that's about the best I can tell you. I mean, this is the first video you're going to have where you can look to see how to get a bolt out of a deep hole in the engine. Like, subscribe, comment. I hope you guys can feel as happy as I was and yell and scream because you're so happy like I was when I got that sucker out of there, because that's a big deal, getting my Subaru back on the road. Alright. Peace.